The problem with being direct is it often creates a mismatch between where you're at in the process of attraction versus where she's at. Hi, I'm dating coach Hayley Quinn. And if you're a single guy out there and you want to know how direct or open you should be about your intentions, I'm here to help solve that age-old dating question about whether you should be direct or indirect about your intentions with women. So what do I mean by indirect? By being indirect, you are being unclear about the reason you'd like to get to know her more. Perhaps you're offering to put up some shelves, help her out with her paper. Maybe you're making excuses and trying to find reasons to spend time with her. And whilst all along, you're actually holding out and hoping and waiting that when she really likes you, she's going to give you a clear sign. Often being really indirect, whilst it can feel safe, actually doesn't get you very far. She may well be aware that you're attracted to her, but the fact that you're not confident enough to express that means that she doesn't feel that strong attraction to you. It can also mean, rather than getting any feedback as to where her feelings are, you can end up chasing after women for a really long time who aren't actually open to dating you. So it's a really great way to drain your limited time, energy, and emotional resources. Because of this, if you have a history of being very indirect and feel like you're walking around wearing a t-shirt that says the friend zone on it, it can be tempting to go 100% in the other direction and practice being very direct with women. And I know a lot of dating coaches out there will tell you simply that direct is best. If you're not sure what I mean by being direct, I mean walking over to a woman and saying that you find her really attractive and that's why you want to come and say hello to her. Could be when you're messaging a woman about a date, you say, hey, look, we're going to meet tonight, meet me here. It's this very assertive style of communicating, which also means you just lay your cards on the table, you call a spade, and it's really obvious that you like her. There's a good reason why directness is often seen as being superior to being indirect. It comes from a space of being confident. If you do struggle to express your intentions, it makes you get over that hurdle and be clear with her about where you stand. And it also means you sort of fast fail on interactions. If she's not open to that, it just doesn't go anywhere. And whilst I can definitely see the benefits of fast failing on interactions versus waiting around in the wings for years, hoping that she chooses you, I actually think there's a way better third way that's more subtle, more sophisticated, and more socially elegant of showing a woman that you're attracted to her. The problem with being direct is it often creates a mismatch between where you're at in the process of attraction versus where she's at. If you're like, boom, let's meet tonight, and she's like, I'm not 100% sure about this guy, it can mean that she senses that disconnect and it creates a feeling of pressure. It will just feel like too much. And so whilst if it's a solid yes from her and you go in strong, it will be beautiful, it will be poetry. If there is a disconnect there, she's going to sense that as pressure and it will make her withdraw in the interaction. Not to mention, often being really direct, it may not feel fully authentic to you, and in fact, it can come across like you're simply trying too hard or you're trying to be someone you're not. That's why in my program Attraction Point, I talked to you about this third way of flirtation and communicating intentions, which walks the line between clear enough that she understands your meaning, with also being subtle and socially elegant. So this can often feel like you're actually operating on the same wavelength as she does. She won't sense this big mismatch in terms of how attracted you are to one another. This should also be authentic, because something I'm really passionate about teaching you as a man is how you can bring more standards to your interactions. So yes, remember, attraction is your reason to say hello to her, but beyond that, you should really be looking for more of a personal connection, to discover more of her qualities before you'd want to invest your precious time, energy, and resources into dating her more. If you're not clear about what your standards are as a guy and you feel like you are constantly chasing, I really advise you to head over to hayleyquinn.com/attraction. I've created a free worksheet for you there so you can help to get really clear about what your standards for dating should be. So let me give you an example of this third way flirtation. It could be that you say something like, you know what, that actually stood out to me. Or there was a reason, like after we matched, that I thought it would be good to meet for a date. Or it could be something like, you've actually surprised me a lot this evening. All of these statements aren't outrightly saying, I think you're really special and really interesting and wow. but they're hinting towards it. They're the kind of things that you could say where someone has to sit there and think and goes, oh, actually, this means he is seeing me in this new way. What's amazing about it is because she listens to the words you're saying and comes to her own conclusions that, he must like me, that's going to feel more sincere to her. It's also just more socially elegant and smoother than going in and saying like, you've got a great smile. There's a time and a place for the great smile, but there's a time and a place for using a more subtle implied compliment instead. I hope you've enjoyed this video and it's given you some insight that there's more than 2 ways that you can express your attraction to her, and there's more options on the table for you than simply being really direct to the point it feels unnatural, or so indirect that you feel like you're hiding your intentions. To understand there are actually better and more subtle ways you can communicate your attraction to her.